So we all know the sexy positions like quarterback and running back and wide receiver are always the positions that usually end up getting voted the Super Bowl MVPs. But I thought it would be a fun exercise to go over for both teams that are involved. Which players do we think are kind of dark horses to maybe win a Super Bowl MVP if their team is ever so fortunate to win it? Um, I'm going to name off some Seahawks players as well, just for objectivity, because it's kind of obvious. Like, what are their obvious ones? Well, like I said, Sam Darnold is an obvious one. Jackson Smith and Jigba is an obvious one. Kenneth Walker is kind of an obvious one. Um, I would say like guys like Nick Emmanwori are even kind of obvious because of how well they're playing on the defensive side of the ball. But who are some players in this game who, if their team wins, could win MVP? Who's kind of a dark horse? I'm gonna right off the rip. Let me get off some of the Seahawks players. We'll save the best for last, right? Seahawks players. I think someone like Cooper Kupp and Rashid Shaheed are the two really big ones. Kupp is still a savvy veteran. He still knows, he's still been in this league a long time. And I believe, if New England's going to cover Jackson Smith and Jigba and double him on a regular basis, then it's going to leave the other guys open often for opportunities. I think Cooper Kupp can do damage in this game if that's the case. I would expect Marcus Jones would probably be on him a lot because he's more of the slot guy between the three. But I'm not gonna disrespect Cooper Kupp and his abilities. I know he's a little bit older, but I think that if you give him one-on-one, I think he still can do something to you. Rashid Shaheed's the big one, not just from a receiving acclimate, but also a returning one. He's basically the tall, lanky offensive version of Marcus Jones. He's a dangerous returner, and I think that we've seen from Patriots teams in the past in the Super Bowl, number 2 or even number 3 receivers exploding for over 100 receiving yards. I don't remember the guy's name, but he was the number 3 or maybe even 4 receiver for Seattle back in 2014. I think he had like 100 yards receiving. Rashid Shaheed is a really dangerous player that you're going to have to really focus on and make a real game plan on. So it's not going to be an easy day for the Patriots secondary because JSN is the obvious number 1, but Rashid Shaheed is no slouch. So he's going to be able to do some damage. A guy like Jake Bobo gives me, pause because I feel like you're going to see a lot of Patriots linebackers on him in this game. And he is a pretty decent route runner. He ran a really nice route against the Rams for a touchdown, and he's super tall and long. He's basically a lean tight end, but he's not. He's a wide receiver, and he runs routes like a wide receiver. So the pass catchers on this team are definitely legit, and the Patriots are going to have to make a real plan on defense and really bring their A game. The Patriots X factors or kind of dark horse MVP candidates in this game if the Patriots manage to win this game. Right off the rip, Marcus Jones. Marcus Jones is one of my favorite Patriots players. The guy is electrifying. He could take a pick 6 to the house. He can bring a punt return to the house on any given Sunday. He's terrific in coverage, and he does not care that he's 5'8". His 5'8" stature does not hinder him. He doesn't care. He'll cover anybody, anywhere, anytime. He's a ball hawk. He's a very good instinctual athlete. I think that if Sam Darnold has trouble in this game, I think Marcus Jones might be a big reason for it. So I really like Marcus. I love either one of the interior defensive linemen. I think Milton Williams and Christian Barmore could both be dark horse Super Bowl MVPs. Which I don't know the last time we had an interior defensive lineman win a Super Bowl MVP, but that'd be really cool. Both those guys are very disruptive. Both of them are going to have opportunities to shine, especially against a kind of average interior offensive line of Seattle. And I do believe that Seattle's going to run the ball a lot. They actually led the league in rush attempts per game, which is kind of surprising when you think about it because of how good the pass catchers are, but it's true. But Milton Williams and Christian Barmore are extremely good against the run. They can shed blocks well. They plug A gaps and B gaps. And so it might be a long day for Kenneth Walker. And I think that might help, that might help force Seattle to throw the ball more. So I like those two guys a lot also. Let's go to the offensive side. TreVeyon Henderson, I think you could say, is a dark horse. Some people might ask, well, why is he a dark horse if he's, considering how well he's done this year with all-purpose yardage and whatnot? So the latter half of this season and as of recently, he's lost a lot of snaps to Rhamondre. He has not been quite as explosive. His yards per carry are low. But I think that bodes, it almost makes you excited when you see a guy as talented as him have a few games in a row struggle, because it almost makes you think to yourself, well, he's definitely going to blow up this week, right? Well, and maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he goes into the offseason on a low note, but I think he's definitely a dark horse. He's still the fastest running back on the team. He's still extremely elusive. He has he was one of the best blitz pickup running backs in the draft, and so for him to struggle with that is a little surprising. But they might need him for this game in that regard. But he's one of those guys. You give him a 3-yard screen, and he can take it 80 yards to the house. See what he did at Ohio State against teams like Tennessee and Oregon in the Rose Bowl. So I still love his overall style. I still love what he brings, the energy he brings. I think TreVeyon could very easily win this, win that award, especially if the game plan for New England is short, high percentage completions. That's going to involve a lot of screens to running backs out of the flat. So I really like TreVeyon. Guys like Demario Douglas, even. Demario is kind of your poor man's Stephon Diggs in this offense. Stephon is obviously capable of playing outside, but he plays mostly inside, and that's obviously where Demario plays, is slot. But we saw in games kind of like New Orleans, you can really play Demario anywhere you want. He is elusive. He's a very terrific route runner, very quick in the inline. I think he could do damage too. He could potentially be your Deion Branch, your tiny, shifty wide receiver who can manage to bring home the gold and win a Super Bowl MVP. That'd be really cool. How about Terrell Jennings? No, I'm kidding. We're not going to speak that into existence. If we see Terrell Jennings in this game, then something bad happened. But the other one, the guy who I'm expecting to have a huge game is Hunter Henry. I mean, these tight ends this is a perfect blueprint game for the tight ends to have a big day. The second level guys for Seattle struggle in coverage, and Hunter is as much of a trusted safety net blanket for Drake as you can possibly get. They're best friends. They have a great chemistry. So I don't know the last time a tight end won Super Bowl MVP. I'm assuming it's probably happened once or twice, but I don't remember if it did. So that'd be kind of neat. So yeah, I wanted to put the spotlight off of the running backs and the starting backs and the starting star players, like the quarterbacks and wideouts and whatnot, and kind of focus on some of those names that maybe the average fan doesn't quite know about as much. So that'd be a fun exercise. So I'm definitely curious as to who's going to run away with this Super Bowl MVP for whoever it is that wins the game, because part of me feels like it's going to be somebody who we're not expecting.